Good morning, children, and welcome to the class. This is class 7th, subject social science, chapter number 3, history. Name of the chapter is the Delhi Sultans. As we are talking about Delhi Sultanate, they are in this chapter. In lecture number 1, we have already covered that how did Delhi become center or capital. The first time Tomar Rajputs they made Delhi as their capital or center of their dynasty. In that lecture we covered different things like the major dynasties there in Delhi Sultanate, in which we covered that Rajput dynasty, then Turkish dynasty, then Khilji dynasty, then Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid dynasty, Lodi dynasty. So these were the different dynasties, those all together made the Delhi Sultanate. So that we covered in lecture number 1. Today we will take some more topics in today's lecture. The topics that we will cover: circle of justice. What circle was there that due to that the different people in the kingdom they were happy. If the circle of justice was there, so peasants or the different soldiers and even king they were happy due to the circle of justice. If the king is really doing justice with everyone. The second is garrison town and hinterland. Third is challenges before sultans. Fourth, expansion of Delhi Sultanate. Fifth, stages of making manuscript. As we already talked about manuscript, this was the source of knowing history. So, what stages were there at the time of Delhi Sultanate for making manuscripts? Mosque and masjid, those were built at the time of Delhi Sultanate. So these topics we will be covering today. Let's start. Circle of Justice. Fakhr al-Mudabbir wrote in the 13th century about Circle of Justice. What he wrote there in 13th century about justice? He wrote that a king cannot survive without soldiers. This is true. And soldiers cannot live without salaries. Salaries come from revenue collected from peasants. But peasants can pay revenue only when they are prosperous and happy. This happens when the king promotes justice and honest governance. If justice and honest governance is there in any of the kingdom, that definitely promote the happiness. If justice is there, definitely the peasants, those were living there, they were happy. If peasants were happy, they were paying the taxes or the different revenues to the that particular dynasty or kingdom, and from that particular revenue the soldiers were getting salaries, and if soldiers were happy, definitely they really they were giving the best service to the king. So in this way the king was also happy. So this was the circle of justice where everyone was getting justice. So it was written in 13th century by Fakhr al-Mudabbir about circle of justice. The next topic, garrison town and hinterland. First of all, what does it garrison town means? In early 13th century, the Delhi Sultans did not go beyond fortified town. Here fortified town, basically garrison town was a fortified settlement with soldiers. Fortified, that is related to fortification, means the city that is fortified. The fortification was there around the cities. So garrison town, it means a fortified settlement with soldiers. And Delhi Sultanate was also under that. It was garrison town. So in early 13th century, Delhi sultans did not go beyond fortified town. Their control that was there inside that fortified area only. So that's why at that time the expansion of Delhi Sultanate was not done. The area was limited there only. Even they were not having the control on hinterland. Sultan seldom controlled the hinterland. Now what does it hinterland mean? The land adjacent to the city that supplied it with goods and services. Means the nearby town. Adjacent means the neighbor, you can say. The adjacent town, the city that supplied them goods and services. They were having the less control over those hinterlands even. So the control was limited there in garrison towns. So garrison town, if we define, garrison town means fortified settlement with soldier. And if we talk about hinterland, the land adjacent to the city that supplied it with goods and services. So this is all about garrison town and hinterland. Now, challenges before sultans. In starting of 13th century, the area that was limited. And what were the challenges they were facing, the Delhi sultans? It was difficult to control garrison towns in Bengal and Sindh from Delhi. If the area is fortified, suppose in every town, so it was really difficult for Delhi garrison town to have a control on garrison towns in Bengal and Sindh because they were fortified areas. So it was difficult for the sultans of Delhi to have control on garrison towns in Bengal and Sindh. The second challenge there before the authority or the rulers of Delhi was Mongol invasion from Afghanistan. Was also a challenge for Delhi authority. Here Mongols from Afghanistan, they were attacking on Delhi. Many times they attacked there. So that was also one of the challenge before the sultans of Delhi. Invasion means here the action of entering another's country with army, means attacks. So Mongol attacks from Afghanistan was also a big challenge for Delhi authority. The third, governors also rebelled at the sign of Sultan's weakness. If the people, the governing bodies, they saw the sign of weakness in any of the Sultan, so they were also taking the advantage of that. Rebelled here means to fight against authority. Means the governors were also fighting against authority whenever they were looking the sign of weakness in any of the sultan. So these were the big challenges before sultans. The first, the garrison towns as they were fortified. So it was difficult to have control on the garrison towns in Bengal and Sindh. As area it was the vast area from Sindh to Bengal. Mongol invasion as Mongols were attacking there in that area. So that was also one of the challenge before Delhi authority or before Delhi sultans. Governors are definitely, if they were looking at the weakness of sultan, at that time they rebelled at that also. They were fighting against the authorities. Next is expansion of Delhi Sultanate. Means how did it expand? Means how the area of Delhi Sultanate it was increased. So here two frontiers are explained in the chapter. The first, expansion along the internal frontier of Sultanate. means inside the Sultanate, the area, inside area, the inner area of the Sultanate. How did they expand it? The first one, if we talk about the first campaign, that was along internal frontier. We will talk here about internal frontier, then external frontier also. So with along with the internal frontier and external frontier, they had expansion. So in internal frontier, if we talk about the first campaign along the internal frontier of Sultanate, aimed at consolidating the hinterland of garrison town. Consolidation means the process of uniting. In this particular campaign, they were trying to unite the hinterland with garrison town. As we talked that hinterlands were adjacent cities, those were supplying goods and services to the garrison town. So they were trying to unite the hinterland with garrison town. And for that, what did they do? Firstly, forests were cleared in Ganga and Yamuna Doab, means in between the area of Ganga and Yamuna, they cleared forest there. So that what was the reason? The new garrison towns and other towns were established to protect trade routes. So the routes those were present there, they tried to control over those routes and they established new garrison town and other towns so that they could have a tight hold on all the activities. So this was all about the internal frontier. They were making it really they were giving a shape to their the particular dynasty as the for becoming the you can say the for increasing their power. If internally they were strong, so they would be able to face the difficulties. So for that internal frontier, what they did do, forests were cleared in Ganga Yamuna Doab, new garrison towns and other towns were established so that they could protect trade routes there in that particular area. Next is second expansion along the external frontier. Here we are talking about external area of the Delhi Sultanate. So what did they do there in that particular second expansion or second campaign? Military expedition into southern India. In that external frontier, what they did do, the military of that Sultanate, they did expedition into southern part so that they could have control over the southern part of India. It was culminated with Muhammad Tughlaq, and that southern expedition that was started at the time of Alauddin Khilji. Firstly, Alauddin Khilji, he started expedition into southern India. Then it was culminated with Muhammad Tughlaq. Means here culminated means to reach at the final result at the time of Muhammad Tughlaq. If we talk about Delhi Sultanate, the famous rulers, if we talk about these both were famous rulers of Delhi Sultanate, Muhammad Tughlaq as well as Alauddin Khilji. So that military expedition started at the time of Alauddin Khilji and it reached at the final stage at the time of Muhammad Tughlaq. In their campaigns or their expedition, they were capturing elephants or horses and slaves from the particular areas for making their own dynasties more capable than others. So it was the second campaign or second expansion along the external frontier. In an internal frontier, they tried to control over hinterland and garrison towns so that inside that sultanate they could have the control. And here, external frontier, the military expedition was done and at the time of Alauddin Khilji it was started and it was culminated means at the final result at the time of Muhammad Tughlaq. And what did they do in the external frontier? They captured elephants, horses and slaves from the other parts. So these were two expansion uh, of the Delhi Sultanate. Stages of making manuscript. As we talked about manuscript in 6th standard even, that manuscript, the script, handwritten script you can say. So at the time of Delhi Sultanate, how this manuscript was made? What were the stages for making manuscript basically? Because in earliest time they were writing on the palm leaves, but here now the scenario is changed. Now they could write, they were having the different material with them. So what were the stages for making manuscript now at the time of Delhi Sultanate? Four stages of making a manuscript. Firstly, preparing the paper. They knew how to prepare paper. So firstly they were the first stage, that was preparing of paper, then writing the text, whatever they wanted to write, that text they were writing, then melting gold to highlight important words and passages. Even they were using gold for highlighting the words and passages, those were more important. Preparing the binding, and then at last they were preparing binding for that manuscript. So these were the stages of making manuscript at the time of Delhi Sultanate. Preparing the paper first of all, as they were writing on the paper, then text whatever they were writing, and then gold they were using for highlighting the words, important words and passages there, and at last the binding was done. The next topic is mosque and masjid. Very important. At the time of Delhi Sultanate, different mosque and masjids, they were built. So one by one we will learn about the mosque and mosque or masjids. Those were built at the time of Delhi Sultanate. If we talk about first one, Quat al-Islam. It was mosque and minaret built during 12th century. Quat Islam, it was mosque and minaret that was built during 12th century. And do you know it is located there in Jama Masjid at Delhi. So Quat Islam, it is located there, it was built there in Jama Masjid. And if you know that in first lecture we talked about the cities of Delhi, in which we talked Delhi Ekuna, Siri and Japana. These cities we talked about, and this particular mosque, it was located there in first city that was known as the old city also, Delhi Kunha. So it was located there in Delhi Kunha, and it was built in 12th century. It was there in Jama Masjid. It was congregational mosque. It was congregational mosque, and what does it mean? Means the people all together, the religious people all together, they were able to go there. There were no foundation. They were independent to go there in the mosque. During prayer, Muslims stand facing Makkah. There in this mosque, at the time of prayer, and prayer of Muslims, that is known as namaz. So at the time of that namaz, the Muslims, they stand facing Makkah, and the learned male, they made the most respected and learned male as their leaders there. Those were performing different prayers or namaz there. Even the people, the leader also gave the sermons or khutbah during Friday prayer. So their prayers, that is known as namaz. So the leader of that particular, those were the leaders, the respected people, or you can say the learned male. They were leaders and they were offering prayers there in mosque. and Muslim people, they stand there, they facing Makkah, and Makkah, if you talk about from India, they were stand, that is in west direction. Then second temple, it is Bagumpuri Mosque. And one more thing about Quwat al-Islam, as I told you that it is the part of Jama Masjid, and Jama Masjid was built by two famous rulers, Qutbuddin Aibak and Iltutmish. It was started by Qutbuddin Aibak and then finished by Iltutmish. These both were Turkish rulers. If you remember that we have done the famous rulers of Delhi Sultanate, so these both were the Turkish rulers. So Jama Masjid was started by Qutbuddin Aibak and it was completed by Iltutmish. Then second masjid or mosque, Bagumpuri Mosque, it was built at the time of Muhammad Tughlaq. Bagumpuri Mosque was built at the time of Muhammad Tughlaq, one of the famous ruler of Tughlaq dynasty. Motki Masjid, it was built at the time of Sikandar Lodi by his minister. And Mosque of Jamali Kamali, built in late 15th 20. It was built by Sheikh Fazal Allah. Mosque of Jamali Kamali, built in late 15th 20. So, and it was built by Sheikh Fazal Allah. So these were the famous mosque or masjid built during the time of Delhi Sultanate. Okay, in today's lecture, if you remember, if you recall that what topics we have covered the garrison town, hinterland, then expansion of Delhi Sultanate, and both we had taken the campaign along internal frontier and campaign along external frontier. We have done, and then we have done justice of circle of justice also, and at last we covered with the famous masjid and mosque, those were built at the time of Delhi Sultanate. So I hope you have understood these topics. Otherwise again we will take there the summary lecture. Now today's question or homework that you will attempt there in your fair register on the base of today's lecture, according to the circle of justice, why was it important for military commanders to keep the interest of the peasantry in mind? Why it was important to keep the interest of peasantry in mind for the commanders, as when they were collecting the taxes? So why were they keeping in mind the interest of peasantry? Those were paying taxes. That we covered in circle of justice. Then second, what is meant by the internal and external frontier of the Sultanate? Here you will write what did they do in internal and external frontiers. Number 3, write the 4 stages of making manuscript. As we have covered today itself, 4 stages of making manuscript during the time of Delhi Sultanate. So these questions you will attempt. Now it's turn for the solution of homework solution of lecture 1. Question number 1 that was given, which ruler first established his or her capital at Delhi? Tomar Rajputs were the first rulers who established their capital at Delhi. And if you remember, they were then defeated by Chauhans, Mahanas, and they were also Rajputs ruler. Tomar Rajputs, they were defeated by Prithviraj Chauhan. Second question was, who were the authors of Twarik? Means whatever the people, those were writing Twarik. The authors of Twarik were learned men like secretaries, administrators, poets, and courtiers. They were writing Twarik, and if we talk about them, they were living in cities. They were writing about the kings, they were hoping for getting the good rewards from them. That's why they were writing about them. So they were writing, these were the authors of Twarik. The next question was, name 5 dynasties that together made the Delhi Sultanate. Dynasties that together made the Delhi Sultanate were early Turkish rulers from 1206 to 1290, Khilji dynasty from 1290 to 1320, then Tughlaq dynasty from 1320 to 1414, then Sayyid dynasty from 1414 to 1451, then Lodi dynasty from 1451 to 1526. And after this, in next chapter you will be learning about Babur, who came there in Delhi, and the next of dynasty you will be learning about that only, Babur, Humayun, Akbar. And you can include here Rajput dynasty also, that was in starting. So here 5 are asked only, that's why these 5 are written. I hope you understood the questions as well as answers in today's lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.